Hello and welcome back to the Citizens Fancast. As always, I'm your host, Evan. And again, as always, we're here to discuss City. So we're finally into the season and a strong start. So we're gonna jump right in here and just kind of get going from the get-go. So obviously, we opened up the Premier League season on Friday, match against Burnley at Turf Moor, and you never know, right? You never know how the game's going to go. You never know if it's going to go according to plan or if it's the Premier League. Any given side can beat any given team at any given moment. So you kind of look at it and you think, on paper, yeah, we should win this. But you never know if we can truly, pull it off until you're in the match. So going into the match, obviously we thought, hey, strong lineup, let's go. And then it comes out the day before with some injury news with Stones and Diaz, and it's kind of like, well, who's gonna be in the starting lineup even? So obviously a few changes. We saw Rico Lewis in the starting lineup, so good for him. Good for him to get minutes and everything like that. We found out that Diaz had a concussion, so with said concussion, he should be out 7 days. I'd like to think that he'd be back for the Newcastle match, but you never know. So starting lineup, that's what we saw. De Bruyne, Foden in there as well, and it felt like we could win the match, but again, once you get into it and kind of get it going, that's where you really figure out, what you have for this year and how you're going to start off the season. So obviously, started out pretty strong. It took 3 minutes and 5 seconds for Haaland to open his goal scoring campaign, and just incredible. He's inevitable. You see it all over. Fourth minute technically, but it might as well have been the third minute. So he gets his goal right away. A short corner routine. De Bruyne crosses it in. Rodri heads it back across, and his first touch of the game, Haaland scores. So up 1-0, feeling pretty decent. And then from there, it for me, it got a little bit shaky, right? Because you go into these matches and, you expect for City to control the possession, to control the game, and that's not really what was happening in all honesty. So we were kind of on the back foot a little more than I would have liked us to be. So, they got their chances, they got some shots, nothing too much to worry about, but it felt a little sloppy in all honesty, and it just kind of felt like we could do better, we can play better, and, if we just kind of start completing our passes and, put it together and start playing the way we usually do, we'll get it figured out. And that's kind of the way it went. So the first 30 minutes, it was rough, kind of difficult to get a real hold on the game. And then it kind of seemed at the 30th minute that a switch flipped. And I like to, just look at the clock when things like that happen. And it was the 30th minute, and we just started passing the ball around and possessing. And it kind of felt like, all right, this is going to be a normal game. We're gonna go out and we're gonna be able to play our game and go on. And who knows how many goals we can get, right? So it took us 6 more minutes to get another one. Ball played in from Walker to Alvarez in the middle. He gets a pass off to Haaland, and a one-touch shot right into the top corner off the bottom of the bar. 2-0, 2 goals for Haaland again, same as last year. 2 goals in the opener. So, it's kind of, for me, it kind of put to bed, well, is he going to have a drop off, or is he going to be the same normal person that he was going to be? And honestly, I don't know. I don't expect him to necessarily get 50 goals this year, and that's not me taking a dig at him at all or any way. When I say I don't expect him to get 50, that could be 40, it could be 45. I just don't expect him to get back to that same number, and I hope he proves me wrong in all honesty, but I feel like the second season, it's not even going to be that he's going to get figured out. I just feel like it's so hard to reproduce the amount of goals that he scored last year. So, 52 last year, and I gotta feel like, he'll eclipse 40 again. I mean, he's already got two, and we're only one match into the season. So 2 goals, and that was kind of it in the first half, right? We played decent, and obviously it's hard. I know there was the De Bruyne injury, and I'm going to get into that after I go through the entire match. But you know, so the first half, obviously, De Bruyne gets injured, so he's got to come off, and Kovacic comes on, and he played well. He fits our lineup. I don't know if anybody out there has read the match analysis I did for the Community Shield or for this match. Available on my website if you want to go take a look at it. So link for that is in my bio, and on Twitter, or on, not sure if it's on YouTube in all honesty, but it's on Twitter. So if you just go find it there, or just Google Citizens Fancast, you'll be able to find it that way. It's kind of a long title, and I don't exactly have it memorized, so this isn't a great thing to listen to here. But I feel like he fits our team. He fits our lineup, and it just kind of shows, what he can bring and why he was brought in. He was brought in to be able to give these minutes in place of Gundogan, or if we needed him in place of De Bruyne. So that's what we saw, and that's what we've seen. I think he's just going to get better. I still feel like at times his passes are off the mark a little bit, but I think that's just getting comfortable, and it's just rust. It's rust from the offseason. Who's to say that, he wouldn't be doing the same thing if he was still at Chelsea. So a great signing, and I expect just bigger and better things from him. Also in the first half, for me, the standout was Rodri, and it's like he never drops a level. He's always just top notch, just 100% all the time, and it feels like he just doesn't. He's not slowing down. He's only getting better, and I don't understand, because he's already the best that there is in the world at his position. So for him to be able to continue to go out and raise that level and just play at the same level consistently. I mean, he plays 60 plus games a year, and for him to be able to play those games and be able to be at that top level all the time is just incredible. And I'm so happy he's in our squad, and we're able to rely on him for that stuff. But he got that assist, and it's like, even without the assist, it was incredible. He was playing out of his mind, and it just felt like, just not even attacking defensively, being in the right position, making tackles, things like that, to be able to put himself in a place to just intercept the ball and stop Burnley's attack, right? So those were the big things in the first half. And another thing which I think was huge in the first half was we got a really good glimpse of Foden in the midfield, and I feel like he's got to be there all the time. I mean, we've all seen his touch and his on-ball control, that video that's been circulating. I've probably watched it 50 times. Just his close control in the box and everything like that. And if you went to Lost Balance, he probably scores there, in all honesty. But it's just things like that. For him to be able to put his personal skill on display, I think that really just shows how he's allowed to show that creativity in the midfield. And I think that's something that he can continue to bring to us, and will continue to bring to us, if he's consistently able to get those midfield minutes. But that was the first half. The second half, it was kind of the same, honestly. Burnley didn't really, they weren't in the match much. They didn't really have too much to come at us with, or anything like that. The only thing that's worrying is again, you'll worry if you allow a goal, a cheap one or anything, if they could get back into it. It didn't happen. 75th minute, we got a free kick. It bounces around a little bit. Rodri finishes, scores 3-0, game over. And then, it's kind of bring on the subs and pack it in. So, we got to see a few minutes from McAtee. We got to see Guardiola's debut. So great minutes by him. And in the few minutes, you kind of saw why he was brought in, right? Making runs forward. I mean, he made a run into the forward into the opposing 18. So just to be able to make runs like that and to take care of that. And I noticed too just his shot blocking. And I think that's something I saw a lot in his in just the highlights I've seen. We have him and Diaz who both are always able to put themselves in the right position to block shots. So, both of them in the squad, good luck getting your shot off in all honesty. So, some good minutes from him. And, that's it. I mean, Cole Palmer got out there, got some minutes as well, too. So, just good to see those young guys get some minutes. We'll see if they stay or if they go out on loan or whatever. But I think it's just a good opportunity for them to get minutes. A little bit concerning that we still don't see Calvin Phillips when you got those young guys playing. I don't know what the plans are for him. I've heard some rumors with Liverpool potentially looking for him. Obviously, they've lost out on numerous transfers now to Chelsea. So we'll see what happens. I would assume we're not going to give them any kind of deal in any kind of way if we were to open up talks for him. So I don't know if he's got a place in our squad or not. So, but for me, the man of the match was Rodri. He didn't even need the goal and the assist for man of the match. He was incredible. It's just one of those things where you'll watch him and it's incredible. You don't even need to entertain those conversations about who's the best defensive midfielder, him, Casemiro, Rice, whatever. It's not a conversation. It's never been a conversation. He's an incredible player, and I don't really see a drop off in his form, in all honesty. So, with that being said, that's my match analysis of that one for the most part. If you want to see a little more of a broken down match analysis, like I said, I got an article on my website. Go check that out and share it if possible. And appreciate you for reading it if you do. So, off the match, we're going to get into the injury news. I said I was going to get into De Bruyne. It seems like his hamstring again. I haven't seen anything official about the amount of time he's going to be out. So we'll see how long he's out. He didn't travel to the Super Cup final here. He didn't, or isn't in the squad, I should say. He probably traveled with the squad, but he's not in the lineup. Neither is Diaz or Bernardo Silva. Like I said, Diaz has that concussion, so the protocol is 7 days. 7 days from Thursday, I believe. So I think he'll be back on Saturday. We'll see if he makes it back in time or not. Stones is in the lineup, so I would expect to see him probably start, and we'll see if he does or not. I would assume he's fully fit. It seemed like it was something small, whatever happened to him. I'm not even entirely sure what it was. And apparently Bernardo's got a little bit of a knock as well, so he's going to miss this match. Hopefully he's good for the weekend, because I do think we're going to need him. So those are the injuries right now. Not really a bright start, considering we're only one match into the season and we've already got 3 guys on our injury list. Hopefully we can get that down to 1. Hopefully De Bruyne's injury isn't too bad, more of a precautionary. Sorry. But you never know. I've seen some rumors of 3 months. I take it with a grain of salt until we got everything coming back and something official coming through saying, this is the amount of time he's out. So hopefully he's not out too long. Obviously he's very important to our squad, but with him out, we obviously need some players to step up, or maybe we need to sign somebody. So brings me into the next topic of transfer rumors and contract rumors and just everything along those lines. So obviously in the last week, 2 players heavily rumored. It seems like we've got it all figured out on the players' side. We just need to negotiate the fees with the 2 clubs. So first player, Lucas Paqueta, I believe that's how it's pronounced, from West Ham. Seems to be a creative midfielder. I've only seen and heard good things about him. So a little bit Brazilian flair that we've lost over the years that he could bring in. So a great signing. Looks like we're gonna have to probably go north of 80 million to get that one done. We've got the money. We've got the funds. Pay the price. bring him in. I think it'll be a great signing, and he'll add a lot to the squad. And then Jeremy Doku is the other one, Belgian, playing in the French league currently. Another great player. From what I've heard, De Bruyne has given his approval, as I would assume he would with any Belgian player that we would bring in. He would, we're going to get his approval because, he's the Belgian captain. So why wouldn't we? So another great player, a speedy winger, although from what I've heard, we weren't going to sign one, but he seems to be very creative. He can cross the ball. He's got a lot of skill on the ball, a lot of speed as well. So hopefully we can get that one done. From what I've seen, around 55 million for him. We'll see what the actual fee ends up being. I just hope we get these two deals done before the end of the week, in all honesty. I'd like to see us bring them both in and just be able to, just strengthen our squad and just get a little more depth. And, we don't really have out-and-out wingers on our team. I would say Grealish is the only one, and for him to be call him a straight-up winger, I still feel like it's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, obviously he plays there a lot. I just feel like with his creativity and everything like that, if you put him in a central midfield role, an attacking midfield role, he'd excel there as well. So Doko seems to be just a straight out-and-out winger, so nice to bring him in as well. Seems that Bernardo and Kyle Walker should be signing their extensions as well. Nothing official there yet. I've seen Bernardo might sign a 2 or 3 year deal. So hopefully we don't have to go through this anymore. I'd like for him to just stay, play out his contract. I'm sick of going through this every year, so I just want him to stay. And really just, you can't understate how much it helps if we can bring those two back. They're both incredible players that we're going to need for this entire campaign. And I'm happy that both stayed. So it should be good to get both of them re-signed and just kind of move on with and just put an end to those sagas. It seems like they're done and just kind of just waiting for them to put pen to paper and officially agree to it. So a new rumor that came out today that is kind of shocking, but it makes sense. So Bayern's looking for a keeper. From what I've heard, Manuel Neuer is not 100%. And apparently they've inquired about Stefan Ortega, and it's a difficult one. If he's promised the starting job at Bayern, for his own personal sake, you'd think he's going to take it, right? You can't really you can't really shoot down a starting job at Bayern Munich, right? I hope he stays. He was great for us in the FA Cup last year. He's great when he appears. For all I know, he could be playing Wednesday in the Super Cup. So I hope we can keep him. From what I've seen, we might offer him a new contract to try to hang on to him. But I would assume if Bayern comes knocking and they say, hey, we've got a starting position here for you, take it or leave it, he's probably going to take it. And all the best to him if he does. Like I said, you can't really reject an offer like that. So I hope he stays, but we'll see what happens. Brings up another question of who do we get for a backup then? And I haven't seen anything. I don't even have a guess of who we go after, in all honesty. Makes me kind of wish we would have kept Trafford and all, just to have a strong player, a young player to come in and be a steady second option as a keeper. So we'll sorry about that. I had something in my eye. If you're not watching on video, then you just heard my weird pause. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'd assume we'd sign a keeper before the end of the window if he does choose to leave. And like I said, I wouldn't blame him if he does. It's a great offer, and if they can offer him that starting position, so I wouldn't blame him. And all the best to him if he leaves. I really hope we can hang on to him though. The last rumor and contract that I want to get to is Foden. He's not leaving. Don't be concerned. He's not going anywhere. Rivals trying to claim him. He's not going anywhere. Pep loves him. There's the rumors that he could leave. Just he's not leaving, and that's plain and simple. Pep would never. The fans love him. I don't think he's unhappy. So it's it is what it is, but I don't think he's not going anywhere. So uh, that's all I got as far as transfers and rumors. So like I said, it's we'll see what kind of happens in those scenarios, but I expect us to be bringing in 2 new players in the near future. So turning the page here, Premier League did start this weekend. I watched 4 or 5 matches, and from what it seems, we seem to be strong. Newcastle looks pretty strong. Arsenal looked okay. Chelsea was okay. Liverpool was okay, and United was bad. They were bad. They won today, obviously, and it's just the normal BS that you always get, right? They get a lucky goal. They didn't deserve it. They were outplayed by Wolves. Apparently, United's a title contender, but they're outplayed by Wolves, who's going to get relegated. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Late penalty shout, of course. They get away with it. Andre Onana just absolutely destroys the Wolves player. I don't remember exactly who it was. And 10 times worse than what Ederson did last year at Arsenal to give away a penalty. And, we've already seen them come out and say that they made an obvious error. It's match week 1 and United are already getting bailed out. So why do we have to deal with this stupid shit every fucking year? I don't understand why we always need to go through this. It's match week 1 and they're already getting bailed out and getting 3 points. So wherever they end up at the end of the year, there's already an asterisk because it's 2 extra points that they never should have gotten. So you look at that and it happens every single year. It's always at Old Trafford. Every single year, they just get bailed out and get these ridiculous decisions. And I'm over it. Everyone else is over it. It's stupid. It needs to end. Enough of these fake apologies. Just do your damn job and do it correctly. I mean, and if they're not going to do it correctly, then bring in new refs because it's really not that hard to figure out. So that's where I'm at with that. I mean, we see it every year. Every year we see it. And it's always the same teams, and it's always United. They're always in there. It's the red teams every single year. United, Liverpool, Arsenal. They get the decisions every single year, and I'm just overseeing it. It's match week 1. I know we're going to see it the entire season, but I thought I could at least go a week without seeing it, but apparently that's a little too much to ask for. So as far as what I saw this weekend, us and Newcastle, we were kind of the top of the charts, really. I mean, I didn't see any other team that performed as well as the both of us, and I think we can do better. I don't know if that's the best we've seen out of Newcastle. We'll see. Will we see Newcastle's best this weekend? I don't know. We'll see what happens, and this could be a big match already this early in the season. So before that, obviously, we have the Super Cup, so a little bit of a preview into that one. Obviously, we play Sevilla, so, I mean, they're used to being here. They've played this numerous times. Obviously, they kind of own the Europa League at this point. But I fully believe we're a better side than Sevilla. We played them last year. We beat them 4-0. We beat them 3-1. So I think we just got to execute at the end of the day. I really don't expect us to lose, but at the same time, we were better than Inter last year, and we only beat them by 1. So it's competitions like this, going for trophies, anything can happen. These European trophies are hard. That's why we play these matches. So I think we're a better side. I haven't, in all honesty, I haven't watched them a ton. So I don't know too much about them, but I expect us to be strong, put out a fairly decent squad. The players want it. The players have come out. They said it. They want to win this trophy. Obviously, it's another European trophy. To get here, you have to win something, right? So this isn't a friendly anymore. It's not the Community Shield. This one actually means something. So I'd expect a strong squad. Obviously, like I said, no De Bruyne, no Bernardo, no Diaz. May see Guardiola start. I would expect we probably will, but then again, who knows? So I'd expect to see him start. I'd expect probably Kovacic to start as well, Foden as well, and obviously we'll see Haaland start. I don't know who will put in goal. We could see Ortega. We or Ederson. It depends, in all honesty, how much these talks move forward the next couple days, and it just depends on how Pep's feeling. If he sees this as more of a cup match or whatever. So I have no expectations for what we're going to see in a starting lineup. I just expect us to come out strong and like I tweeted today, I selfishly am happy that we're already playing 2 matches a week. I know it's a lot on the players, but selfishly, I like to know that we're going to. I get to watch 2 matches a week, so we're going to be 8 days into the season here and 3 matches down already. So hopefully we can turn that into 3 victories. So with that being said, Super Cup Wednesday. Obviously on Saturday we play Newcastle at home. Last year 3-3, and then at Newcastle, and then 2-0 at home. So they've got a better squad. Like I said, I've said it multiple times. I think Alexander Isak is going to have a great season this year. I fully expect him now with Kane gone to Bayern Munich. I fully expect him to be the second leading scorer in the Premier League behind Haaland. Obviously, you have like Salah and whatnot in there, and Son is probably going to get a lot of goals, but I expect a lot of goals from him. He's already got 2 as well, so and he could have had a hat trick. So I watched that game on Saturday. They looked very good, but I think Aston Villa flattered them a little bit. Their defense was in shambles. It was awful. That's some of the worst defending I've ever seen. They won 5-1. It probably could have been 8 or 9, in all honesty. Newcastle wasted a lot of chances. So they're going to be strong. Obviously, I came out with my Premier League prediction, and I put them second, and that's why. They're a good team. There was the rumors, they got Sandro Tonali, and did he really want to be there? Well, he scored early, and his emotion showed that he wants to be there, and Newcastle's official account even tweeted something about that. So just kind of mocking the people saying that he didn't want to be there. So I expect them to be strong. It should be a very, very difficult match. As always, I expect us to come out on top. Our defense is significantly better than what Aston Villa's is, especially after what I saw. We're significantly better. So I expect two really big matches this week. Newcastle, I expect them to be our biggest title competitor. So if we could get the 3 points over them right away and just get a lead on them early, so we don't have to do like last season and make it up. I think that put us in a good spot, and I expect us to beat Sevilla as well. So hopefully in that Sevilla match we can get up big early and take some of our big hitters out and get them some rest for Saturday. So 2 p.m. kickoff here for me in the States. Obviously, if you're watching in the UK, an 8 p.m. kickoff. And again, I feel for you, and I apologize that we're doing this. I hate it as well. I wish it was a 9 a.m. kickoff for myself, 3 p.m. over there for you guys. So sorry about that. Nothing I can do about it. It's all about money, and apparently that makes them more money. So I wish they weren't going to do that, but it is what it is at this point. So can't change it. All we can do is continue to support the squad and move on from there. So it's kind of the outlook for the week, right? We got 2 big matches, one for a trophy and one that could be huge in the title race already. It's kind of crazy that we're second match week in and I'm already talking about the title race, but you got to look at every single match, and you got to just you got to try to win every one, obviously, but you got to look at every match and just 3 points are 3 points, and they all count the same. But when you can get them against a team that you're probably going to be up against, then in the title race, then it's an important match. It's a very important match. So from what I saw this weekend, obviously we'll see what happens with Newcastle this year, but I expect us to do what's never been done and go for 4 in a row. I mean, I think they're the team that stands in the way. Beyond that, I from what I saw, I don't see anyone else competing with us. So they seem to be the best team, and beyond that, it's just you got to play the games though. No one expected Leicester to come out in 2016 and do it. So it it's really just about finishing the job and going out there. So those two big matches, and that's this week. So not too much here. I just got one more topic, and I harp on this every single week, and it's the dumb fan accounts. Like, we got to stop following these things. One of them was circulating a story about a Kovacic injury. Apparently, he was stretchered off in training, and he was perfectly fine. So when you let these accounts get big and have some pull, they just start making up fake crap, and then you get these rumors flying around that need to be verified or whatnot. And in this scenario, thankfully, there wasn't an injury, but like it's the scenario of you gotta just look at the source before you do anything and react. And I know I'm guilty of it at times as well, but just don't give them any attention. And a last thing here, you got to support our players. I've seen so many things, just negativity around the team and everything, and not supporting the team. We got to get behind the players. We got to get going. I just support them. I muted so many accounts this weekend, people not supporting our players and saying Foden was having a bad match because he's not scoring and things like that. If you don't truly understand the game, then don't talk about it. And if you're following somebody or you see something, just try to ignore it. I mean, again, like I said, I know I'm guilty of it myself, but it's just it's hard to not fall into those traps. But you can tell the people who understand what they're talking about and the ones who don't. I'd like to think I'm one who understands it pretty well. I would assume that if you're listening to this, you kind of agree, or you just found this on the internet, and if you've made it 32 minutes into it and you still don't think I'm an idiot, then clearly I got to be doing something right? So that's all I got for this episode. So thank you guys for listening. As always, leave a rating on Spotify if you can, or wherever you're listening. Available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, and go check out my website. Link is in the bio on Twitter. I'm still getting the whole TikTok thing together. These videos are available on YouTube if you want to watch the full-length video or whatever. And follow me on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it is now. Yeah. Not gonna talk about the guy in charge of it because he'll come after me for yeah. So on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Citizens Fancast. Follow me on Instagram, Citizens Fancast as well. YouTube, Citizens Fancast. TikTok, Citizens Fancast. So it's all the same thing. Like I said, go check out my website. Leave a review on this. 5 stars are appreciated. And thank you guys for listening. As always, I'm open to any comments, suggestions, concerns you may have. But beyond that, let's go out and close off a great week here. Let's get some wins. Let's go get 2 victories, and then we'll move on. And that's that. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next week.